So guys, a couple of days ago we had the suggestions that got passed to the developers for consideration. Stuff that were suggested on the forums by players that got into the list for consideration of the devs. There's some pretty interesting things. This is the November list. And of course, I brought 5 of them that I think should be added right now. Actually, the last one, I don't know if it should be added, but maybe, I don't even know what that thing is, but yeah, let's get to it. The first one I did a video yesterday, which is the F-14D Super Tomcat. The Tomcat that got the most amount of modernizations. It has the APG-71 radar, which is basically a technology used on the APG-70 brought to the F-14, kind of, right? It has the double IRST TCS system on the nose. And yeah, it is just overall a very interesting aircraft. Of course, they even tested the M113 on them. So for sure, I think it should be added. Like I said in the previous video, I'm not going to talk too much about it since I have a whole video about it. You can check it out. But yeah, the 14D Super Tomcat for sure needs to be added ASAP. And it was suggested by Nostalgistic. The second one is the Su-30 MKK, suggested by Maple7 Live. It is basically a Chinese Su-30 that was bought by the Chinese from the Russians, right? It is very, very similar to the the Venezuelan one, in the Russian tech tree. And of course, this vehicle, guys, it is probably what it would be the perfect premium for China. I know they just got the YH-32A, but honestly, this is what the premium for China should have been. You know, it's basically, like I said, the same as the Su-30 MK2. It has the same kind of radar, the N001 with the upgrades, right? It has the same armament, the KHs, the R77s, the R27s, R73s, same type of thing like that. Still has the same engines, no thrust vectoring, and no canard. So it's very, very similar to the MK2. It would be a copy-paste indeed, but that's why it kind of is a perfect premium, because it doesn't, like, it's not going to break the game, right? So much better than the YH-7A, and of course, guys, if it is going to be between two copy-paste vehicles, I would prefer to spend that amount of money on an Su-30 instead of the GH. Not that the GH is a bad aircraft, by any means, right? But the Su-30 MKK would make a lot more sense in my opinion. So I think it should be added as a premium, but of course it can be added in the tech tree as well. It's just that there's so many domestic versions and other versions that can be added here. But yeah, of course, it can be added as a tech tree vehicle as well. Then we go for the first tank. This is the M113 RCWS30. The suggestion was made by KID, right? KID. CAID, I don't know how to pronounce the name, but yeah. It is basically an M113 with the RCWS30 turret from the Namer, right? So it is very insane. This in real life actually got mounted to kind of show what the RCWS turret could be mounted on. Of course, for export, it could be mounted on BMPs, it could be mounted on Boxers, on FE432s, on Bradleys, anything that the client wanted. This thing was made to try to sell for export, right? So the idea was to just show that anything can actually be using this turret that they were trying to sell, right? And the vehicle that they used was a 113, just to see, you know, just to show, oh, look how insane this is. Even a 113 can be upgraded with this insane turret, right? So yeah. In the game, of course, this would be just a normal 113, but with this turret that is very, very good. Of course, the 30mm Bushmaster, you would use the same ammunition as you see in the Israelis, and of course the Spike ATGMs, right, which are pretty amazing fire and forget missiles as well, right? So yeah, it would be very insane. Of course, since it would have a worse chassis than the Namer, it could be added in a lower BR between the Giraffe and the Namer 30. 10 point something, 10.3, 10.7, 11.0. Probably like 11.0 would be the correct BR, just because, I mean, still has the Spike fire and forget missiles. But of course, it would be dying a lot more because of the chassis, right? So it would feel the tech tree of the Israelis a little bit more, and it would be very fun because it is a very different design. So the BTR-3, guys, is the other tank that I wanted to talk about. It was suggested by Wrecking Ares. It is for the Thai Tech 3 Sub 3 for the Japanese, of course. And it is basically a Ukrainian design built up on the BTR-80 kind of idea, right? So it's a modernized kind of version of the BTR-80 built by the Ukrainians. So the chassis, everything looks very much like a BTR-80, but it's modernized. So it has a modern fire control system, a modern thermal system, third generation, if I'm not mistaken. It has a 30 millimeter that is built by them, and an ATGM that is built by them as well that penetrates 800 millimeters and it's standing heat. The interesting part about this missile is that, at least on the tripod version, when it's outside the tank, I don't know how it is in the tank, in the fire control system, but it is a normal laser-guided beam kind of missile, but it does have some pretty interesting modes, like an automatic mode that it locks, I think, on the image of the target, and then it automatically steers. So, yeah, it's not fire and forget, but it kind of is. It's kind of weird. Very, very funny and very interesting design. But yeah, guys, very fast-paced vehicle, very low armor, of course. But of course with a very deadly ATGM and a very deadly gun. So very cool. Hopefully it gets added for the Japanese. And the last one, guys, is the Healer YH-32A Hornet, which is the most insane design I ever saw of a helicopter. This is like a 50s design on, or late 40s design, like early 50s, right? Of a ramjet helicopter. How does it work? Well, it actually has the ramjets on the wingtips of the helicopter, okay? Which is insane. I mean, it's just, oh my god, guys. Americans, what were you thinking? This is just insane. And the idea here was a very bare bones, very light, and very easy to just deploy helicopter, okay? It had some problems, but they did some upgrades onto it to actually be able to use some weapons. So it is very crazy. It had these problems, like it was very loud and it produced a very big flame with the engines when it was turned on at night, especially. So it was problematic on the stealth capabilities, I would say, right? In real life, you could actually use some rockets. You could use 2 recoilless rifles, yes, 75mm M20s recoilless rifles, which is insane. It can carry some troops, you know, like a SAR operation or something. And then it can carry as well 2 ATGMs, which is the SSM A23 Dart wire-guided ATGM. It uses a very similar design on guidance as the SS-11, right? AS-11, SS-11. So it's a manual guided missile. I would imagine that for implementation, they would add it as SACLOS, but yeah, let's wait and see if that thing is ever added. But yeah, guys, it would be very, very insane and very cool. My opinion is that it would probably be like an event vehicle, because this thing would probably be kind of very bad. But at the same time, it would be very cool to see. It has 2 ATGMs, so if it has a very low BR, I mean, if it is like, I don't know, like a, I don't know, man, like a 6.7, 7.0, 7.3, even a little bit higher, maybe 7.7 or something like that. Maybe lower, because depends on the AA systems. It could be something very cool to see. And of course, these missiles, they do have a pretty okay range of around 3 kilometers, right? So you can stay away from certain AAs and still get kills. It's just a very, very, very weird design. But yeah. And these are it, guys. These are 5 vehicles that I think should be added. Hopefully they get added. You know, it is something that it's just problematic, some of them, especially the helicopter, but some of them needs to be added ASAP. So these were the suggestions that I think are interesting enough. So I see you guys on the next one. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment. Be a patron, be a member if you want to help the channel. Make sure to join the Discord down in the description. And bye, guys. See you.